sharp enough there. Good. You'll find a taker for you today. Not likely. Oh, well. Someday. Oh, hello there. Please come in. Now you look like someone I might actually enjoy sailing to today. Well, you see, in a town like Eifendel, most of the people who come into my shop looking to buy a weapon, most of them wouldn't know what to do with any of the things I have here. Generally, they buy them for the prestige of things. Rich nobles looking for a beautiful, intricate weapon to put on their walls, or perhaps to complete an outfit. Entirely frivolous, if you ask me. Always hurts a bit knowing that the blades that I work so hard on are not ever going to actually be used for their intended purposes. But something tells me you may be a bit different. It's the look you got going on here, love. Yeah, one adventurer to another. We can always tell. Well, I used to be an adventurer like yourself. Then I took an arrow to the knee. That's a boring story, you wouldn't want to hear it. But that does mean that now you've got me a lovely weapon shop here instead. See, when one career ends, you gotta find another trade. Luckily, I had a very old friend who was quite the skilled bladesmith. He's not with us anymore, but his skill lives on in his apprentice. So, what can I do for you today? Are you looking for anything specific? Are you off on some big adventure somewhere you might need a bit more protection for? The wilds? Now that is quite the adventure. Have you ever been to the wilds before? Well, I think you're in for a treat. You see, the wilds are home to some of the most beautiful cities I've ever travelled to. Wonderful culture, fascinating people. But in order to get to those cities, you've got to cross quite a lot of barren desert, treacherous land, full of any number of dangerous beasts, and quite a few dangerous people as well. I don't blame you for maybe wanting a bit extra protection before you head out. So are you looking for any sort of specific weapons, or just interested to see what I've got? No problems there. I like being able to show off some of my best things. Well, let's start small, shall we? Now, of course, it's always wonderful to have a great big sword or some sort of great big weapon, but it's also very, very nice to have some secondary weapons, both to protect yourself and just, hunting knives, bait daggers. There's all kinds of different purposes that a smaller weapon could have. Something like this, actually. This is a very common style for a boot dagger. As you can see, it's got a lovely little curve here, but a nice sharp blade. Everything here is sharpened to perfection, I guarantee it. It's also got a little hook down here, so that you can use that to sort of rip open things. It's very lightweight, nice sleek design with a sturdy wooden handle here. It's got a little hook to it, so you can pull it out of your boot. And then of course it comes with a nice sheath here, reinforced at the tip. This could also work as a weapon if you don't have time to draw the whole thing. You never know. Life of an adventurer. Sure, I don't have to tell you. You don't always do things in the most conventional ways. Sometimes you just do what works, eh? sheath is quite sturdy, fits nicely into a boot or onto a belt. So you see it's got a little loop here too, so you can fasten it around your ankle if you'd like, or fasten it to a belt, or perhaps you'd like it more, on the wrist. You can pull it out wherever you would like it. It's a quite versatile weapon. Of course, not necessarily what you would want for a main weapon, but you'd be surprised how many times having a little boot dagger could save your life. Oh, you've already got a boot dagger. Oh, apologies. Not to worry, not to worry. Got some other things I think will interest you as well. Let's see. Now this is a set of daggers. I'm quite proud of these. I've got a few of these actually that I've sold in the past. Sold one to a friend of mine in Peddler's Alley. Now she is a fearsome creature to behold, especially when she's fighting. Not everyone has the skill, the agility, the speed, the cleverness to fight with just daggers. It takes a special sort of warrior. She's definitely a special sort of warrior. But I've got a few other people that I think could handle these as well. Here we are. This is a set of 2 daggers. Got a very small one up here, and then a bit of a larger one here. And again, this comes in a little case, also with a loop there. Fits nicely onto the belt. Just sort of tuck it in right there. Or you could also strap it to an ankle or a wrist or your forearm as well. Very, very versatile. You've got the 2 different sizes of daggers here. A very small one. But excellent for concealing when you're not sure if you're going to be able to bring weapons into a place, but it's a place where you'd like to have a weapon. This is an excellent way to conceal something. And it's also quite pretty too, you've got the beautiful curvature here, a bit of a guard there, and then some design on the pommel there. Now, the nice thing about these daggers is not only have you got the razor sharp edge here, perfect for plunging into an opponent or slitting the throat, but you've also got some serrated edges on the back here, and these are excellent for sawing through something, maybe a bit trickier. So it also, doubles as a hunting knife, whether you need to saw through a log for some firewood, or maybe some bones, whether that be an animal or whether it be an opponent. No judgment here. So this is the little one that comes with the set. But then we've also got this larger dagger up here too. Quite an intimidating looking weapon. See, it's not always about size. Intimidation doesn't have to be about size. A lovely design. Excellent again for stabbing, thrusting upwards, thrusting downwards, slicing a throat. Whatever the case may be that you need it to be, this weapon can get you out of quite a few tight spots. And again, we've got that very nice guard here. Protect your hand, so it's a nice sturdy grip. And then the decorative pommel here. Not only does it look very nice, but as you're holding it in your hands, it sort of gives a little rest to your pinky there, so that your hand fits perfectly right there. See? Excellent. So this is an excellent set of daggers for those who like daggers. Or again, maybe you just need a hunting knife. Something like this could be an excellent choice. But I do have some other options as well, if you'd like to see sort of that mid-sized weapon. Alright, of course, yes, let's see. Here we go. Now this weapon, it may not be quite as aesthetically appealing perhaps, It doesn't have all of those little design features, but it's still a very effective weapon. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what a weapon looks like, as long as you know that it'll protect you. And this one is actually very, very strong. You see, this is a weapon from days of old, when the King's Guard used to have all of their weapons commissioned by the dwarves. So it was made in one of their underground mines by their masterful smiths. Of course, it comes with a nice sheath here. And then the blade, as you can see, thin and lightweight, but incredibly sharp and incredibly strong, made with dwarven steel. No one quite knows how they're able to do it, to get their steel so strong but so light. It's a feat that most human bladesmiths and smithies are not able to duplicate. But whatever the case may be, they make fearsome weapons, even in a small size like this. Still something to behold. This is a perfect size for a blade that you may have at your side, concealed under a cloak. Something like that. And of course you've got the guard here, a bit of decoration there, and then a flared pommel again so that your hand fits perfectly right there and you won't be losing your grip. I believe that this is a handle made of horn too. Quite beautiful and also quite strong. So this is a beautiful weapon of precision. You can see the dual points here. That's what makes it a dagger, is when you have identical points, identical sides that come to a symmetrical end here. This is a diamond faceted blade. A bit difficult to tell because it is quite thin, but each side has been polished in two different ways so that it's a bit raised in the centre. You can see it's identical on the other side. That makes it not only very strong, that extra width in the centre gives it some extra strength, but it also makes it quite easy to stab into someone and pull it back out. A fearsome weapon, even at such a small size. I thought that someone like you may appreciate this one, because while the design is a bit simpler than that other one I showed you, it's still very powerful. Beautifully made. This is a weapon that will last you for life. So maybe another one that you may want to consider. Now, are you looking for blades this size, or are you interested in something a bit bigger? Of course. I'll just show you what I've got. You can make your decision from there, yeah? Good. Let's see. Perhaps you'd be interested in something like this. Now, this is another blade that comes to us from someone other than a human. I don't have too many blades like that anymore in a city like this, in a kingdom like this, but this is one of my most prized possessions. This is a riding knife, or a short sword, I suppose you could call it too. This was a blade that was carried by an Elven archer. You see, generally when a bow and an arrow is your main weapon, of course, you're quite skilled in that, but it's also a good idea to still have something that you can fight with in close range. Now, a very skilled archer can also fight in rather close range, but, it's still a good idea to have a blade in case you need one. But they wouldn't want to carry a very large blade that would be cumbersome. So the elves developed a blade this size. Still a rather formidable piece, but not like a long sword or anything like that. But this one is made, of course, of elven steel. Again, very lightweight, but very, very strong. You can see, of course, the beautiful detail work on here, inlaid with copper, I believe. All these beautiful little swirls. See, the elves excelled at making weapons that were very powerful, but also still very aesthetically pleasing, very delicate and sleek. You can see this blade, it's got a bit of a curve here at the end. Makes it wonderful to wield. It feels excellent in the hand. A beautiful blade, to be sure. And then the handle down here, a bit longer, but still very comfortable. Can still fit one hand on there, or if you'd like, you could try to get two. Generally, this is a one-handed weapon. Steel on the pommel again, keep it quite strong. And of course, that beautiful detail work down here on the leather as well. This is one of my most prized possessions. But for a fellow adventurer, I would be willing to part with it. This is one that when the nobles come call in, I don't generally even show them that I have this. They wouldn't appreciate it like you and I would. So, that's an option for you as well, if you're interested in that. Of course, if you're looking for something that's a bit larger, I do also have a few different blades that might catch your eye. This is a very nice size of a sword. You see, it's designed to be a one-handed sword. Still large enough and powerful enough that it offers quite a lot of protection, but you can also hold a shield with it without being too encumbered. It's got a nice little sleek design here to the curve of the blade. This is another design. That's not a dagger because of the size, but it's got the two symmetrical sides, and both of them have been sharpened, of course, to perfection. On the handle down here, we've got some wrapped leather over bronze. It's a decorative metal, to be sure, but also can be quite sturdy, creating the pommel of a sword. I've got quite a large pommel down here. This rounded design, it's a bit decorative. Also, of course, protects your hand. And it's strong enough to hold a spike like this. You see, sometimes in battle it's good to be able to have a weapon that can be quite versatile. A strong, quick sword on one end, but a spike like this can also be used as a weapon if needed. So this could be quite a good option if you're looking for more of a main weapon, something nice and sturdy but still manageable. Now, I myself am a bladesmith, but I do also have a few weapons that are not blades as well. If you're looking for something, to give you a bit more versatility, perhaps a ranged weapon. Excellent, excellent. Let me put this one down over here. I've got something you may quite enjoy. Now that's a very fearsome bow. This is again actually created by the elves. You can tell from all of this beautiful gold and filigree on it. But it's also made of yew, which is a very strong but also very flexible wood. It has an incredible amount of torque, strength, and this can shoot an arrow very fast and very true. There are many, many houses of elves that were considered expert archers. Not that we've seen them in many, many years, of course. Me? Seen an elf? Well, if I have seen an elf recently, it wasn't a way that I could tell that it was an elf. You know, between you and me, I highly doubt that all of the elves just completely left the kingdom after the Great Separation. But I think they learned how to be a bit more undercover, perhaps. There are many in this kingdom, especially in this city, who see the elves and magic as something to be feared. I'm not so sure. If there's one thing that I've learned from all of my travels, it's that there are many, many, many different kinds of people in this great world. We may live very different lives. We may have very different traditions, customs, beliefs. But generally, down at the heart of the matters, we're all quite similar. You may have disagreements between different types of people. That doesn't mean that we cannot still live in peace with people. So this is the bow, and then there is also a quiver of arrows back here. Again, it's got that same sort of design here, that golden filigree. Quite beautiful. And then beautiful arrows here, made again of elven steel. You would be hard pressed to find any arrows more nimble and more straight and more true than those made by the elves. So if you're, someone who generally fights with a sword, perhaps being in the wilds, it might be good to have something a bit more of a ranged weapon as well. You would be someone that I think would very much appreciate a weapon such as this. Excellent. That is an excellent choice. Yes, it is quite a formidable bow. Something tells me that you and this bow will get along just fine. Wonderful. I'll put this to the side for you then, shall we? Alright, and then what about any of those other smaller weapons that I showed you? Good to be versatile, of course. Okay, yes, of course. This is a beautiful set of daggers. One of my favourites, really. I think that's an excellent choice. The two different sizes, the versatility of them, having both an excellent curvature there, a very sharp blade, and also the serration on the bottom there. A beautiful weapon, if I do say so myself. Excellent. Well, I suppose we do need to discuss price now. What? That's, between you and me, that's actually a bit high. I was thinking something quite a bit less than that. No, that's far above the going rate for weapons around here. I was even going to give you a bit of a discount because you are a very skilled adventurer like myself. If you insist, I'm not gonna say no. I guess I may feel a bit guilty about that. I did give you fair warning, I suppose. Alright, I thank you for your generosity. That's quite a sum. Well, is there anything else that I can do for you? I know you said that you had a boot dagger, but for such a price, I would be happy to throw in one of the other blades as well. You know, maybe you don't need it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to, maybe have another blade on you for someone else in your party, or perhaps to trade later on. You know what? No. I insist. Why don't we throw in this one as well, yes? The Dwarven dagger. Again, not very big, but still a very formidable and very strong weapon. I'm sure that you could find a good home for this. Maybe not with you permanently, but you never know what your journeys may entail. If your adventures are anything like what mine used to be, you never quite know what you're going into. You might think that you know, but you never quite know, do you? Alright, no, I insist. The bow and the set of daggers, and then this dwarven dagger for you, my friend. Wonderful. There you are. Well, pleasure doing business with you. It's always wonderful to meet a kindred spirit who actually appreciates the wares here, not just as something for display, but something that will get some use, yeah? Good. Well, when are you departing for the wilds? Very soon. Well, safe travels, my friend. I hope whatever it is that you're looking for in the wilds, you find it. May we meet again, traveller. If ever you are passing through this city again and are in need of some new weapons, I'll be happy to give you a very good deal. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you again.